Hey traders, so welcome back to another Sunday video. Today we will be talking about the S&P 500, Nasdaq, Bitcoin, gold, silver and some other currencies too. Last week we had some big moves. We saw some kind of a sell-off in the S&P 500, the Nasdaq and some other assets too. Now the question stands here is that what's next? Are these prices continue to go lower or will we saw this being a buy the dip opportunity? Let's figure it out, let's find out, and let's see what is coming for the upcoming week. First of all, starting with the S&P 500, the week initially started good. We had some gains, but on Friday we saw this massive red giant candle which erased back all the gains. The question here is that will it drop more? Are we going to see some lower prices or this is going to be a buy the dip opportunity? To be honest, long term, I stay very much bullish on the S&P 500. It still looks very much strong. The economy in the longer run, the US economy still looks quite resilient. But in the short run, the things might have changed. The US economic data recently for the February, it showed some signs of cooling down. Meanwhile, the jobs data was also weak for the month of January, to be honest, but the data obviously came out in February. Never mind, forget about that. Don't get into that confusion. Also, the big companies which are included in the S&P 500 or on the Nasdaq, they also showed that their revenue might not grow as much as expected previously. So what you have right now is some slowing signs out of the US economy. You have a weak, not weak, but some cooling of labor market, and you have less expectations of revenue growth. At the same time, what you have is the big one is the rising inflation. So inflation is still a problem. Meanwhile, all these three major things they are showing some signs of cooling down. So this is the current scenario, and this is the short run scenario to be honest. And that's why I think that in the short run we can see some lower prices. In the short run, I am not bearish, but I am neutral on the S&P 500, and I am waiting for some lower levels like the 5850 or even lower around the 5650 levels, and at these levels I will be looking to buy the dips, because in my view currently this is not the right time to buy the dip because the economy is showing something else. At that time, at when these dips happen, like if we go to the test the 5850 level or the 5650 level, if at that time the economy starts to show some signs of strength, then obviously I will be looking to buy the dips, and if not, then we will see what to do at that time. Talking about the Nasdaq and Dow Jones. First of all, talking about the Nasdaq, same story for the Nasdaq too. I am not buying yet. I am not bearish on it, but at the same time, I am not bullish on it. I am just neutral on it. Right now, what we are seeing on Nasdaq on Friday, we saw a kind of a big sell-off on Nasdaq, giving back all of the gains which it had for the week. And I think that Nasdaq can also continue going a little more lower because of this all the economical uncertainty, the inflation thing, the revenue expectations out of the companies, the job data thing, all this stuff can lead to a bigger profit taking in the Nasdaq too. That's why I think that we can see some lower prices on the Nasdaq, maybe these 20,800 or even lower around the 2,400 levels. So I will be watching obviously these dips when they happen, and if that time the economy shows some signs of strength, then obviously I will be looking to buy these dips on Nasdaq as well. Talking about the Dow Jones. So Dow Jones is another interesting assets, and like before I talk about all of this, initially at the start of the year I was long the S&P 500, I was personally long the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones and all this stuff. But recently I just closed in the past few weeks I closed all of my positions, I booked my profits because the economical data was not very much satisfying, and I was saying this for a few days now that we can see some sell off in the major US indexes, and this is what is happening right now. I shared its alerts, I shared my analysis and everything in my free Telegram channel. I will drop the link of my Telegram channel in description. I share the analysis of different assets of my different trades which I am taking, like this gold trade. Its analysis was shared ahead of time in my free Telegram channel, and same thing goes for the silver too. The silver trade is also my current trade, and I shared its analysis ahead of time in my free Telegram channel. If you are someone who is interested in proper fundamental and technical analysis of different assets, then you should join our Telegram channel. I will drop in its link in description. It's totally free to join. Now continuing with the Dow Jones, kind of the same story for the Dow Jones too. The economical data is not showing some good signs. It's showing some signs of cooling down. And as long as the economy is showing these signs of cooling down, the stocks, the indexes are expected to struggle. Now, again, I'm saying this that in the longer run, I stay very much bullish and I'm not bearish on it even right now. I am just neutral and I'm waiting for some dips to happen to buy those dips, to buy these indexes at better levels. Now, if we talk about the longer run, then in the longer run, these indexes, everything, they are very bullish. The US economy still looks very much strong and quite resilient. But right now, I'm just not interested in them. I'm just waiting for some lower levels. And quite the same story for the Dow Jones too. I am looking for some lower levels around this 42K level. And if we do see that, and at that time, if the economy is showing some signs of strength, of continuous growth, then obviously I will be looking to buy these dips on the Dow Jones. But currently, I don't think so. It's the right time to either be bearish or bullish on the US indexes. The next is going to the Bitcoin now. So after the election, Bitcoin was very much interesting. We saw Bitcoin go and hit its peak around the 108 level. But for some weeks now, or even I should say for some months now, what we are seeing right now on Bitcoin is a consolidation phase. Bitcoin is continuously consolidating roughly around the 106 to 92K levels. And for some weeks, same thing for the Bitcoin too. Initially, for the start of the year, I was very much bullish on to the Bitcoin. I also had some positions on the Bitcoin, but recently, in the past few days, I booked most of my positions and I am just watching it right now. For the past few weeks and days, what I have been saying for the Bitcoin publicly that I am expecting lower prices for the Bitcoin, even the 88K, or if we go even lower, I am expecting 85K levels onto the Bitcoin too. Why? Because what Bitcoin loves to see a strong economy and at the same time a cooling of inflation. But right now the scenario is totally opposite. Right now, the scenario is that we are seeing a slowing of economy and a rising inflation, and Bitcoin does not like this scenario. That's why I'm neutral on Bitcoin. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin, and the major reason for that is that we have a pro crypto president. So the policies of Trump are expected to favor the Bitcoin in the longer run, but in the short run, the picture has changed, and I have seen this multiple times. I have said this multiple times, and still I am saying this that I'm not bearish, I'm not bullish on Bitcoin, I'm just neutral. And what I think is coming for Bitcoin is some lower levels. We can see the 88K or even lower around the 85K levels. I'm waiting for them, and if at that time there are some good news about the Bitcoin or the economy shows some strength, then obviously I will be looking to buy that dip on Bitcoin, but currently Bitcoin is just not interesting. And obviously, like, this is the point of diversification. Initially I was the one who was trading gold only, but right now I have diversified. I trade multiple assets, and that's why I trade multiple assets. Sometimes you have some or multiple trades on one asset, but there might be times right now, for example, currently on Bitcoin I don't have any trades. If I was the one who was trading Bitcoin only, I would have messed up, I would have overtraded, I would have gotten FOMO and stuff like this. But right now, as I trade multiple assets, I can easily track multiple opportunities. And if one particular asset is not giving me the opportunity, I will move on to the next asset. I will analyze that, and I will look for my opportunity there. Now, talking about the gold. So, gold has been very much interesting, very much exciting all this year. Initially, I was neutral on gold for this year, but right now I have converted to be a bull on gold, and I will explain why. So what you have right now for gold is that you have a slowing down economy and you have a rising inflation. Now many people think that if the inflation is rising, the interest rates are expected to be remain higher, which is in turn a negative thing for gold. Now if we speak about general terms, yes, you are right. But right now the scenario is totally different. What you are seeing right now, you are seeing a slowing down economy and you are seeing a rising prices, a high inflation. And what this creates uncertainty among the people. Why? Because people go and people see some higher prices, and when they see the growth, they are seeing some lack of growth expectations, they are seeing less growth than expected, and stuff like this. So people get some fear about the future of the economy and stuff like this, and that's why that fear creates uncertainty, and that uncertainty keeps gold in demand. As gold is a safe haven asset, it is considered as a store of value. That's why whenever there is an environment of uncertainty, gold tends to rise. And this is the major reason why I am currently bullish on gold, and I think that 3000 levels on gold can come sooner than expected. Now I'm bullish on gold and I have my SL trailed into profits. As you can see right here, I have my SL trailed into profits. And if next week gold decides to break the support level, then obviously I will be trailed out of my position. But even if that happens, I am still going to remain a bull on gold. And obviously on gold too, if that pullbacks to this 2880 levels or even lower around the 2780 levels, then I will be looking to buy that dip again in gold. So this is my base case, this is my base plan for gold, and kind of the same thing for silver too. Silver is in also a very good bullish trend, and it looks like that silver is going to test these all-time highs around the 35 level very soon. I have a position on silver too, and it is a long position. And as I said earlier, its analysis was shared ahead of time in my free Telegram channel. Before I took the trade, I shared its analysis that this is what I'm thinking, and same thing goes for the gold too. So if you're someone who is interested in that, I will drop the link of my Telegram channel in description. You can join that from there. So for the silver, was my initial position, and this was the position which I scaled in maybe on, I guess, on Friday. I don't exactly remember, but I scaled into my initial position of silver. And for both of these positions, this is my current SL. I have my SL trailed for this first position, and for the second position, this is my SL. So like simply, this is my SL for both of these positions around that 32.20 level. So this is my SL of silver, and obviously if in the next week silver decides to hit this level, then I will be trailed out of my position. But quite the same thing for the silver too as of the gold. Even if silvers take me out of my position, I will be looking to buy back the dip in silver too, because in the longer run, due to this economical uncertainty and some Middle Eastern tensions, stuff like this, silver also looks very much interesting, just like gold. And even if it trails me out, I will be looking to enter into the silver too. So this was pretty much it. This was my plan for the next week. I am holding gold and silver trades. For the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Dow, Bitcoin, I am waiting for lower prices to buy. So yeah, this was pretty much it, and that's all. Have a very good week. Have a very good Sunday. Have a very good trading week ahead. We will meet in the next video. Best of luck.